Missouri's schedule in 2025 will look very similar to the schedule in 2024. They do, of course, flip the home and away games in the SEC. Non-conference schedule is pretty similar. So let's just jump right in. And here is that full schedule. We will break it down starting with the non-conference. So you've got Central Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana, and UMass. So really like seeing that Missouri-Kansas game. That's going to be a lot of fun. Should be a great game. And then you got three easier games there with, again, Central Arkansas, Louisiana, and UMass. So you look at the home and away, again, they're going to flip from where they were last year in the SEC. That means this year they get South Carolina, Alabama, Texas A&M, Mississippi State at home. And then on the road, they'll play Auburn, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. So I would say it's pretty even in terms of the opponents. Alabama, South Carolina, Texas A&M, though, really, those might be the three best teams they play. And they get them all at home. So that is really good news if you're a Missouri fan. But at the same time, Auburn's a tough place to play. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Vandy on the road. Those games will be tough. So it just kind of depends on how you look at it there, which way you like it. So, if you like last year, let's just say they're not going to beat South Carolina. They're not going to beat Alabama. They're not going to beat Texas A&M. You'd rather play those games on the road if you're not going to have a chance to win them. But if they've got a chance to win those games this year, getting them at home is huge. And then, of course, they'll have to find a way to get some wins on the road. So let's go game by game. We'll start with Central Arkansas on August 30th. And then it's right there, week 2 against Kansas, September 6th. That should be a great matchup there in the non-conference. Then they'll play Louisiana on September 13th at home. And then open up SEC play with South Carolina on September 20th. And UMass on the 27th. And one other note here, let's just go back for a second. As you see, they've got 8 home games and only 4 road games because they have no, they have their 4 home, 4 away in the SEC, and they have no road games in the non-conference. So this is a pretty favorable schedule for Missouri. So again, back to the schedule, their first 5, in fact, their first 6 games are all at home. So you got 5 games there before a bye week. You don't have to go on the road. Yes, South Carolina is going to be a tough game, but you get that one at home. You get Kansas at home. There's a real shot for this team to start off 5-0 going into that first bye week. And that would be huge because if you look at the rest of the schedule, they've got back-to-back road games twice with Auburn, Vandy, and Oklahoma, Arkansas. So that's interesting the way this schedule sets up. But there's 6 straight home game there on October 11th against Alabama coming off of the bye week. That's going to be a big opportunity for them to possibly get to 6-0. And then that road game against Auburn, that'll be a tough one on the 18th. And then Vandy on the road on October 25th. So only 3 games there before their second bye week. So that's interesting. So some very interesting things with the schedule. Again, 6 straight home games, back-to-back road games twice, and then bye weeks that are really close together with only 3 games in between there. So they've got Texas A&M coming off that second bye week on November 8th. That game will be at home. And then Mississippi State at home on the 15th. So again, back-to-back home games, then back-to-back road games with Oklahoma on the road on the 22nd and Arkansas on the road on the 29th. So for me, if I'm a Missouri fan, this is kind of a boom or bust schedule because you've got a lot of big games at home. If you can win those games and then pull off some wins on the road, it could be a really special season. But if you're not able to win those big games at home, going on the road, again, it's going to be very tough. So if you slip up and lose a couple of those games, it could very easily be a big disappointment for this season for Missouri. So again, I think this is one of the biggest boom or bust schedules that I've seen. And I think there's going to be a lot of close games, maybe one possession games that they'll have to find a way to win if they're going to have a big time season. So how does this stack up with the other teams in the SEC? Well, it's actually one of the easier schedules. If you look at their conference opponents from last year, they were 25-39, only a 39% winning percentage. Again, that is one of the easiest schedules right there with Tennessee and Texas. I do have Kansas in the non-conference, but overall not too tough of a non-conference schedule. And they get 8 games at home, only 4 games on the road. So this schedule, again, it's boom or bust for Missouri. It could be a really special season, but at the same time, if they're not able to win those big games at home, it could be a disappointing season for Missouri in 2025.